Hello guys, welcome back to Convention Storytime, or if you're new, welcome to Convention Storytime. This is where I tell you stories of things that happen to me or my friends at conventions. Now, this story comes to us from IKASUCON 2014, which is actually the last convention I attended as of the time that I'm recording this video. And it has to do with a friend of mine and something happening in our room. This isn't something that actually happened out on the con floor, like all of the rest of my story times up to this point have been. This is something much more personal that happened in our room. So, to set the scene, obviously it's in our hotel room at the con. We're staying at the con hotel. Not that that really matters. But we're trying to figure out who's going to sleep in what bed, and because of certain things, I've never slept in the same bed as my friend Drew before. You may know Drew. We also call him Dante. If you've watched any of the raw footage or vlogs, you may have seen him. Or if you've met me at a convention, Drew may have been there with me. It's very possible. So I'm going to end up sleeping in a bed with Drew. That's what we come to. That's what we decide. And I've never slept in the same bed as Drew. The only thing I have to go on is that when we were at EvilCon, my friend Dakota had slept in the same bed with Drew. And we remember Drew, set up and did something. And, this was during the middle of the night. And Dakota, we hear him, because I'm off in the other bed, we hear him go, "Are you alright, man?" And he's like, "I'm fine," and, rolls back over. So that's all I have to go off, is that Drew might sleep talk, maybe? Little did I know how bad it would be. So, the first night, we're laying there, asleep, and, well, kind of asleep. It was kind of hard to sleep. But, I did eventually get to sleep, and out of nowhere, I feel something in the bed, I feel the bed move, so it wakes me up, and I turn and I look over at Drew, and Drew's sitting up, and he's pointing. And this is the middle of the night. He's, asleep, I guess. And he goes, "There's no one in front of us." And I was like, "Yeah, I know. We're in a bed." And he's just like, "There's no one in front of us, bro." And then just lays back down and goes back to sleep. And I'm like, what? What just happened? I don't understand. But this isn't the bad part. This was the first night. It was pretty simple. It was kind of weird, but I was like, okay, I guess this must be what happened to Dakota. And in the morning, Drew tells me that he was dreaming of roller coasters last night. So he must have thought that we were in line for a roller coaster, and he was telling me, "Hey, there's nobody in front of us. Let's get on." Little weird, but okay. The second night. This was after a rave, and it was really fun, but we were all really exhausted. We didn't end up going to bed till 3 a.m., which, it could have been a lot worse. But, so we get to bed at 3 a.m. We all finally get to sleep. It was kind of hectic finally getting everybody to sleep. But, once we all finally get to sleep, I'd say around 5 a.m. maybe, we're asleep, and suddenly I feel something in the bed again, and I'm like, oh god, here we go again. And I look over, and Drew, he sits up really fast, and he goes, "Whoa!" He screams when he sits up, and it wakes me up. He's like, "Whoa!" And he jumps out of the bed, out of the end of the bed, and he's standing there, and I'm like, "What's up, Drew?" And he's like, "Bro, we gotta get Josh upstairs." And he points up. He's like, "We gotta get Josh upstairs." Now, you guys wouldn't know this. We don't know anyone named Josh. No Joshes at all. For any of us. And he's like, "I gotta get Josh upstairs. We've gotta get him upstairs." And I'm like, I say, "Drew, are you high?" And he's like, "No, bro, I'm fine. We gotta get Josh upstairs." And then I tell him, because we were on the top floor. That's where our hotel room was located. We were already on the top floor. So I play along with him, and I'm like, "Drew, we're already on the top floor." And he says, "Oh my gosh, thank God." And he crawls back into bed, and he just lays down, and he's asleep. And that was it. And the next morning, I asked him about it, and he doesn't remember it at all. Nothing. So, yeah, kind of weird, kind of random, and honestly kind of scary. It almost makes me want to sleep in the same bed as Drew more, because this stuff happens, and it's interesting, and I think it's funny to talk about. So maybe I'll try and sleep in the same bed as Drew in the future so that I can hear more of these crazy things that he comes up with when he's dreaming. But yeah, it was cool. Do you guys have any friends who do anything weird like this at conventions that you didn't know about them until you started going to conventions with them? You did not know that they did this, and you learned about it at a convention. Or, on top of that, do you know anyone who's just sleep talks or sleepwalks, or like Drew, sleep jumps out of bed and starts screaming and pointing, all while asleep? Let me know in the comments below. I'm sorry this didn't have to do more with actual convention stuff, but I will try to get more videos out to you soon. If you haven't noticed, I've been doing them every Thursday, but we've got a convention next week, so I do want to try and put out another one before that convention, which is actually MatsuriCon, if you don't know. So look for at least one more video before MatsuriCon, maybe 2 or 3. I'm feeling like making videos today. See you guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, you can click on the video on the screen to jump over to my vlog channel, where I vlog my day-to-day life for your entertainment. If that's not enough for you, go to the description below to find links to my Twitch, where I stream video games almost daily, my Facebook, Instagram, email, Twitter, Tumblr, and the Convention Reviews website.